And as always, we're going to be looking for accurate context, good risk management, and always exercising good patience.
Everybody who's traded has gone through periods of time where their strategy hasn't worked.
Where if not a hard stop, you should reevaluate the trades you're in based on time.
That's what we're here for, is to put ourselves in the best success. A trading routine does that, builds that habit, lets you know what to work on, what to reflect on, and what to improve on the next day.
Good morning, everyone. It is great to be back with you. It's time for the Market Prep, Monday, March the 27th. My name is John Ogland. Thank you again for trusting me with your time. As always, our focus is on accurate context, good risk management, and remaining patient in our trading. I've missed all of you, my futures family. It was a very disruptive week with the construction and things going on around the house. We're pretty much done with everything. Still waiting for some stuff to come in behind me. It's kind of a boring picture here right now, but that's going to change probably into next week as we get things more settled and get back down to business here, business as usual. What are we looking at today? What are we looking at in these markets? What are these markets telling us this morning? Nothing major as far as economic data is concerned today, although we do have somewhat of a busy week, probably most importantly on Thursday with the GDP numbers coming out. But tomorrow we do have international trade, Case-Shiller home pricing, FHFA home pricing index, and consumer confidence tomorrow's. We also have one talking Fed later on tonight at 4 o'clock p.m. Central Time. Philip Jefferson is speaking tomorrow at 9 a.m. Central. We have Michael Barr, one of the talking Fed, speaking. Wednesday, pending home sales and petroleum status report as usual on Wednesdays. The GDP number comes out. We're also looking at jobless claims as usual on Thursdays in the EIA petroleum status report. There are a couple of talking Feds on Thursday. We've got Collins and Barkin, both of which will be barking about the same time at about 11:45 a.m. Central Time, 12:45 Eastern Time. And then we're going to round out the week with consumer sentiment on Friday. That's the Michigan consumer sentiment. We also have personal income and outlays and Chicago PMI, and one talking Fed at the end of the day. So we certainly have some things to be looking at, nothing as important as the FOMC that we had last week, now behind us for another 5 weeks. But we do have some GDP numbers coming out. That is going to be one that we're going to be speculating, one we're going to be adjusting inventories for, and one we're pretty sure we're going to have some longer time frame traders hedging for that number on Thursday. So we'll keep an eye on what's going on between now and then. We have U.S. equity futures looking rather cheery this morning. It's a sunny day here in Chicago. It's a sunny day in the markets, it looks like. We've got no bad news over the weekend, and as we know with the equities, when there is no bad news, they have a tendency just to grind to the upside. Now, with all of the information that we've had over the last 2 to 3 weeks, I think the equities have actually held up very well, particularly in the NASDAQ, of course, which has no banking in it. So we are going to be looking forward to maybe some continuation to the upside. We've got gold off its highs. We're struggling with that $2,000 level. The First Citizens Bank shares has bought the SVB's debt and deposits. So with no new bad news, we are facing good news this morning, and it is certainly showing in the equity markets. Crude prices have been kind of wandering overnight. Some underwhelming information out of China has the demand somewhat questionable over there. And again, traders and investors will have sights this week on that GDP number on Thursday. The VIX this morning back down to 21.44. The dollar index pretty much steady at 103, and the yield on the 10-year 3.48% as we get into this morning. Make sure you hit the lucky like button, share, comment, question, feedback, heckling, and love are always welcome here. We do have the ability to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can get notifications when we do go live. It's a busy week here, of course. We've got the prep, we've got Make Hogue Money, we've got group coaching, we've got Coach's Playbook, and on Thursday at 2 o'clock, I think it is, Jared Tendler is going to be back with us for a question and answer session. He's very popular, very well liked, and make sure you're there and bring your questions. You can email your questions in early, and we can give Jared the chance to answer those. So again, we're looking forward to that. It is group coaching today. There is the link. We also have Make Hogue Money. There's the link. So group coaching at 12:30 today. Make Hogue Money at 2 p.m. Central. Make Hogue Money will be the morning session tomorrow. And I think probably going into next week, we're going to start to see more of Top Step TV. We're going to be doing Make Hogue Money every morning, Monday through Thursday at least. And have the opportunity to spend a little bit more time with traders talking about trading. And that's one of the things that I love about my job and about what we do here. It's always exciting to see everybody. Jay was the first one in the room winning the prize this morning. Terry King, Alfred, good morning. Alejandro, Shaw, Fred talking about now he's going to stop teasing the Bears and now he's going to start mocking the Cubs, which my son will be very happy to hear that. My son is a huge Sox fan, but my daughter lives a block from Wrigley Field. So, Fred, I'm kind of torn. John, good morning. Jason, good morning. Shai, Timothy, Scott saw, and he conquered. Christopher, Tom, my brother, love you, buddy. It's good to see you this morning. You guys, you and Rick have had quite the email, the text message chat going this morning. I wish I was going to be able to join you guys. They're having lunch today, but I'll be here. Haggle Matters, good morning. Will, the construction went well. You never really know how disruptive it's going to be until you find out how disruptive it's going to be. But we're back now, pretty much on the back end of it, just looking for some more furniture and some more interesting backgrounds here. So we'll be doing that in the coming weeks here. Good morning, my guy Vince. Good morning, Pete, Steven, Dr. VJ, Fred. Personally, I'm a White Sox fan, but I'm having a dispute over the owner, Jerry Reinsdorf, since 1994. He doesn't know about it. Well, I think there's a lot of sports fans that have had a lot of disputes with a lot of owners that the owners don't know about. Isn't that right? Grounds Hero, good morning. George. Lacey, the center of the universe, is here with me this morning, and as always, says good morning to all of you. Rooster, Ray, good to see you, Ray. The wildebeest is here. Good to see you, Ainsley. My brother Rick is here. Now I got my brother Daryl and my other brother Daryl are both here. Man, I wish I was going to be able to join you guys for lunch today. I got to decorate that wall. It's coming. It's coming. You know, the furniture and some pictures and some bookshelves and all that stuff is on the way. It just wasn't here for us this morning. Sounds like he's in his basement. Yeah, it's almost an empty room right now. I got to get some furniture. I got an area rug. It's gonna be. Yes, these walls are too bare. If you ask me if you're being held prisoner, blink 3 times. No, I'm not, and I'm not holding up today's newspaper either. Good morning, Travis. Will, he's a hostage. They are treating me well. I have had 3 square meals. The Fed did it. Good morning, John, Will, Marcelo, Don. Sarah, thank you. It's great to be back. As you know, I miss you guys when I don't get to spend time with you. New space is going to be nice. As soon as I get all of my trading artwork up on the walls, I'm going to do a tour for everybody so you can see what I see. I got a nice view. Got a nice pond back behind the house I'm looking at. There's ducks floating around in it right now, and so we'll do a tour of my office as soon as it's done. I've got oodles of trading floor artwork, some on loan from my brother Rick. But as soon as I get all this stuff up and the way I like it, the way I want it, then we'll do a tour. It should be interesting. I've got some interesting and unique trading floor business artwork. So we'll do that. Rusty Golfer, my spirit animal, is here. Blank slate, give it time. Yup. Anissa, good morning. Where? JD Royalty, Ashraf, good morning. George. Stocks, COVID, good to see everybody. Joe, good morning. Renos, Scotch Masking Duct. I love that name. If you can't fix it using duct tape, it's not fixable. Robert, good morning. Ashraf, need to get me some Top Step gear up in my fashion game. Yeah, well, it's out there for you. Good morning, JT. Sigma, lunch is tomorrow. Oh, I think you guys were talking about today, but a little busy this morning. I wish I was going to be there tomorrow, too. Maybe they'll let you out so you can join us. Pete, good morning, Shad. Ducks are overrated, just saying. Yep, the rooster. Good morning, crowing this morning. We got some geese out there. We got all kinds of waterfowl out there. We see sand cranes, we see egrets, we see seagulls, we see vultures, we see all kinds of stuff. A fresh start. Good luck. Thank you, Vince. Yes. Matt P., good morning. Scotch masking duct. Yeah, that's right. If you can't fix it with duct tape, it's not fixable. All right. Thank you for chiming in and saying good morning. And it's great to be back with everyone. It's always it's good to get away sometimes, and it's always good to get back. And one of the things that I miss when I'm not involved in the markets and I'm not in my seat here is the opportunity to talk to all of you in prep and in the Make Hogue Money and group coaching and all the things we do. So Sigma, waiting for the live account. Can't wait to trade. Nice job, Sigma. We're looking forward to your continued success. JT, you've got an Indian ring neck. I love those. Is it a blue? They're so beautiful and so smart. I love birds. Phil, good morning. Trading for Animals, good morning. First time watching. Well, thank you for watching Trading for Animals. We are going to jump into the charts here pretty quickly, and so we can get down to the business of the day. Good morning, Bear Goes Long. It's good to see you. And we will... JT, they're so smart and so cute. Oh, man. I had a bluebell. I like it. I've always had I've had a couple of really cool birds. I had a parakeet that was real smart, and then a couple of cockatiels that were just the sweetest little birds. And I was thinking about getting another bird. My son wants to get a bird, but my wife is like, no, too dirty. Maybe I'll get one and keep her in my office. I love those Indian ringnecks. They're so cute. All right. So here's the S&Ps. We are in June. Going to make sure I've got everything moved over. And the only thing that has not moved over yet is gold. We're still seeing more volume in the April contract. And don't forget, when it is time to roll that gold, you're going right past May into the June contract. April, right to June. All right, here's the charts. Here's the daily on the S&Ps. So I missed a lot of this. My internet was out, my computer was all broken down, and had to get it all moved up and set up here. But it looks like this market is still attempting and continuing to grind higher. With all the bad news we've had in the last 3 days, the last 3 weeks, I should say, I think the market has held up very well, and again, especially in the NASDAQ. Looks like we had a little bit of a short squeeze here on Friday because we lost 14,000 in open interest. Volume wasn't all that impressive on Friday, but the market is continuing to try and push to the upside. I'm giving this short time frame move to the upside actually a B in performance because of the bad news, because of everything it's got going against it, and still pushing higher. That's why I'm giving this upside move a B. It's grinding, and when there is no bad news, markets, the S&Ps, the equities tend to grind higher. There's just a natural lift to them because most of the conversations in stocks are buy side only. So what are we looking at today? Well, the MGI market generated information, this market has been telling us that even with all this bad news, it's been holding up pretty well. Take a look at the 30-minute chart. All right. So what are we basically kind of holding this channel. Boom, 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 boom. Well, now we're right in the middle of it. We've got a gap open. We had almost a trend day yesterday, although there was a lot of price bar overlap, but price just kept pushing higher and higher and higher. I wouldn't necessarily call it a late spike, or was it? You know, it kind of looks like one, but is it really? Well, there's nothing perfect in trading, and we're going to call it a late spike, and we're opening above that late spike. We're gapping higher, overnight inventory to the long side, and as long as we don't close the gap and accept in range from yesterday, I'm looking for opportunities to buy weakness. Anything can happen, of course. ACH, we know that, but without any new bad news, I see no reason why this market can't continue this grind to the upside. But again, we're right in the middle of this channel. So, you know, anything can happen. I'm going to be just looking at very short-term information here first thing on Monday, thinking, well, we've got overnight longs. If they're going to capitulate, I may get better trade location if I'm looking for opportunities to buy weakness. And if we can't accept inside range and or value from Friday, then it's looking like we may move to the upside. Take a look at the TPO chart. It does have, this is including the overnight. So it does have what appears to be a little bit of a late spike at the end of the day here. Well, we're opening above that. That's acceptance of higher pricing. So that's what's got me thinking of looking for opportunities to buy weakness. We'll have to see. Of course, we always have to see. Do we have an IB low? Yes, we did. IB, the regular trading session low, Thursday night into Friday, unable to trade below it. The market just continued to grind higher. When you look at the colors in these profiles, the reason I color them this way is because I can see that the red and the orange is early in the session, the yellow, green, and blue, the later in the session it gets, the colors change. So I can tell you by looking at this profile that the market opened, ranged here, and then continued to push higher throughout the rest of the session, putting in a late spike to the upside, opening above it again. What does that tell us? Acceptance of higher pricing. Take a look at the crude oil now. So crude was a little bit boring, I think, in the overnight. There wasn't a lot going on, not a lot of activity. So what are we looking at? Well, when we look at these three bars from the last three sessions, there's very small candle bodies, very long shadows. The market was indecisive, did not have an idea of what it wanted to do or what it's going to do. And so, here we start the week in that area. The market is really centrally located as far as price is concerned. At least it was this morning. It's getting a little higher, but last week's high, last week's low, these purple lines, weekly kickoff low, weekly kickoff high. We're in the middle of it and looking more like short time frame control than anything longer time frame control. We're through rollover now, so we don't have to worry about that. And we did add 5,500 in open interest on Friday, but what did it mean? It's very difficult to make an assumption of what the market did. Where did that open interest come in? I'm looking at it as kind of on the long side, because the market did rotate higher throughout the session, much the same as the S&Ps did, and closed near its highs. So that settlement price, 69.26. So it didn't close like on a late spike, but it closed pretty well. Now look where we are. We've got a gap. Does this put us into possible repair mode, Fred? We've got the naked point of control, the TPO point of control here, volume point of control here, TPO point of control all the way down here, volume point of control here. We're between them. There is a little bit of a gap here as well. So this market, as it's opening, is suggesting a potential repair type of situation, a potential repair day. Keep that in mind as you go through your trading day, Fred. And we'll take a look at this during group coaching too, to see what happens throughout the day. We'll take a look at it as well. Of course, we will on the market reflection at the end of the day. Here's the TPO chart. Almost a late spike, but opening above in a potential area for repair. So watch the points of control from Thursday. Watch the points of control from Friday. If we're going to actually go into repair, we're going to put in a high somewhere up here and a low somewhere in here. Be patient. Patience, Iago. Here's the NASDAQ. Now, this is where the S&Ps are down here. This is where the NASDAQ is. This swing high that we touched last week, really vital, really important in the way I look at markets. Range-bound-ish? Is she? Range-bound-ish? What is the right word? Open interest indicates new buyers on Friday. I think we found buyers in the S&Ps as well. Although we lost 14,000 in open interest. A little short covering, perhaps. So, here we are. This important swing high, last week's high, weekly kickoff high, this swing high, really going to be important for continuation or failure. Continuation, we accept above this level and we go. Failure, we look above, fail, and we drop. Not thinking this is going to be one of those levels where it's going to become magnetic, which whenever I say that, the market loves to make a liar out of me, and we'll see. Let's take a look at the 30. It's coiling, isn't it? Higher lows, lower highs. We're still here. Settlement is here. Almost a late spike, right? Almost. Gap rules. Looks like we're going to be opening with a gap. Overnight inventory. Is it long? Not really. I don't think that there's that much of an overnight inventory in the NASDAQ here for us to use to our advantage. Value area special situation below, which does exist in the S&Ps as well. It is possible. But opening with a gap, can't close the gap. It's not going to happen. If we do find acceptance in range and in value, then value area special situation could come into play. But as long as we can't close the gap, and if we don't find acceptance, we're looking for opportunities for the market to continue this push to the upside. All right. Here's the TPO chart. Whoa. 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 So here's our overnight. Here's Friday. Normal variation day. Almost a late spike. We're opening above that almost a late spike. But where did the market go to in the overnight? Overnight traded to value high from Friday's regular trading hour session. Value overnight traded to the TPO, point of control here. Possible repair again? It is entirely possible. It is entirely possible. So, now let's look at gold. Everybody loves gold. All right. 2,000 turned out to be too much. We could not exhaust sellers up there. Buyers weren't willing to take that next step. Sellers have come in. We added 16,000 in open interest off that high on Friday. That's naysayers. Those are longer time frame sellers that said, nope, 2,000 is too much. 2,000 is too much. Well, maybe that's going to be a good thing. Maybe it'll give us an opportunity to buy it cheaper, right? Overnight inventory, open interest indicates shorts, naysayers. Where were we? Well, it's now really kind of in balance, right? I mean, it's been pushing to the upside. We've now put in a lower high. We're still putting in higher lows. It's found an area of balance. Now, this gray line right here, in 1958, I think it was last week's weekly kickoff level. Where is it? No. That's just an old level. I'm going to take that off. That's just an old level. So here we're in a box, range bound. Last week's low, the bottom of the lower extreme. You might be thinking about looking at the bottoms of these candle bodies here as kind of the low for the extreme. That's going to put us down around 1943. These candle body tops here might also be where you might be thinking about an extreme for an opportunity. Here's the 30. Look at how short we are in the overnight. So here's that move on Friday that added 16,000 in open interest. Now remember, it's still in rollover. By the end of the week, we'll be in the June contract. Right now, we're still in April. But it looks like we've tested down to this naked point of control. There's a little bit of a gap. There's last week's low down here, up here. A lot of overnight inventory to the short side. I'm not sure what I want to do with this market, to be honest with you. Here's the TPO chart. Here's today. So a little bit of weak high here, finally leaving excess at the high. And what? A late spike to the downside. Opening below the late spike gives us the opportunity to look for opportunities to sell strength, and it certainly seems to be the right thing to do today. The high of the day so far is up here. We're trading here. So if we are in short time frame control, take a look at this weak low down here. This is not a very strong low. We could easily target that today. Here's that little gap. Could easily be a visual target for us today. Take a look now into the euro. What's the dollar doing here? It's just still kind of hanging around. Nothing tremendous here for the dollar, at least this morning. So we've got a weekly kickoff high 944. Based loosely off some technical information here and a naked point of control up here. Last week's high, last week's low. And we're centrally located. Again, you know, the market is somewhat range bound, low, high, somewhat range bound and centrally located. We're short time frame controlled. We lost 17,000 in open interest on Friday. Some long liquidation, some profit taking, or some losses being taken. Take a look at the 30. There's that old trend line. Actually, this is actually last week's weekly kickoff high. Very magnetic this morning. It went right through it last week, but this week it seems to be holding right at it. Where was our settlement price? I didn't put it on there. 108.14. 108.14. There we go. There we go. So overnight inventory, no. Gap, maybe. We in a big hurry for this market right now? I'm not. There's a gap above. Weekly kickoff high. Point of control. Visuals up there. Lots of visuals down below too. We've got an unfinished gap. We've got another naked point of control down here. I'm not in a big hurry in this market. Take a look at the TPO chart. Here's that big gap. Late spike, acceptance of the late spike, still an acceptance. Lots of visual targets for both sides of this market, as we were just showing. Possible repair. I mean, we've already repaired this gap. Point of control here, point of control here. Stay patient. At least those give you opportunities to lean on something to limit your risk. 10-year. The upside move, even with the downside move today, is still largely intact. I'm not looking for it to come all the way down to weekly kickoff low for it to ruin the upside move. As a matter of fact, this should be here, 113. I don't know why that moved. Just right about there. So that, I think, is where we're really going to start to break market state, is if we get down to this weekly kickoff low, 113. We lost 43,000 in open interest on Friday. Pretty substantial. What was the direction? Long liquidation. Long liquidation. Big gap. We've got naked points of control, naked point of control here. If we can't close the gap relatively early, do we come back down and recheck the lower end of the area of balance that we've been in? Here's the TPO chart. Late spike, rejection. Late spike, rejection. Here's Friday, double distribution trend day. Late spike, acceptance. Now rejection. It's a big gap. Take a look at the natural gas. So we are certainly in the May contract now. Right in weekly kickoff low. Downside structure intact. We lost 6,100 in open interest on Friday. Perhaps a little short covering rally there. Little profit taking for those that may be short before the weekend. I know I would do that. So we got weekly kickoff low in play, which is pretty much last week's low. Here's the 30-minute chart. Last week's low, weekly kickoff low. Taking a look at it now, we opened with a weekend gap. This market does tend to have a lot of weekend gaps, and we've opened with a gap from Friday as well. So we're looking at gap rules up against a major inflection level here. Might be some good opportunity here, but of course, direction unknown. Here's the TPO chart. 236 late spike, almost. Rejection, yes. Continuation down below weekly kickoff low, possible. Weak low here, excess here, but we're taking out that excess low now. It's going to be an interesting trading day, an interesting trading week, and aren't they always? Aren't we so lucky that we get to do this? I know I feel lucky. And I hope that you do too. I hope that you guys trade well today. JT, give Bluebell a kiss and I'll bet Lacey for you. Probably nary the twain shall meet, though. I don't know what Lacey would think about little Bluebell, but I love her. Trading for animals' patience is my problem for sure, and respecting my own levels. Killing it in practice account, no red days in the combine. I'm making the worst decisions. Well, I saw that Bear Goes Long was saying, that's something that we do when we're focusing on profits over the process, and that is true, and it is something that you're not alone in. Also, trading for animals, we all have that. It's part of us. It's part of us, and it's a part of us that is contrary to the way we should be acting when we're trading. If we cared a little bit less about it, and it's hard to say, but if we could trade a little bit more carefree, but not care less, of course, we would probably do a lot better. It's so difficult to just let go of the risks that we're taking, so that we can stay in good trades and get good profits on it. It's a very, very difficult thing to do. We can talk more about that group coaching, and every morning if we have the opportunity to spend the time together, we can continue to work on that, and we shall. Take your deep breath, traders. Stay humble, grateful, creative, and centered in your trading today. It won't be long, and the background will be a lot more interesting, I assure you, and I'm just happy to be back with everybody and back in this seat. So have a great trading day. Be kind to yourself, be kind to others, say a prayer for peace, and I'll see you for the group coaching at 12:30. Always got a couple of good emailed in questions already, and I'm looking forward to addressing your questions there as well. Trade well today, get out there and profit, and I will see you later.